Welcome back to Real Life Reviews, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Jcob Delta 38 Triathlon Saddle. For those of you who have been looking through the videos or have been friends of the channel for quite a while, you will know that on my tri bike for probably 5 years now I've had the Cobb Jcob 55. They're very similar saddles. I'm going to explain the difference to you in a moment. You won't find the Jcob 55 unless it's second hand now, because John Cobb sold the original company and has now started up another company. So the saddles are now called Jcob, not Cobb, and the updated version of the Jcob, just off the front 55, is now the Jcob Type 5. Anyway, let's have a closer look at the Delta 38 and compare it to the old 55 or the new Type 5. Let's put the two saddles side by side then, and there's a very good reason why John Cobb's saddles have been right up there in, for example, the Kona saddle count, which is where we can get some data from. They're outrageously comfortable whichever saddle you get, so we're talking very minimal differences here. In 2019, Cobbs were worn by, they were the fourth most popular or common saddle in the Kona count, particularly popular with the higher end amateurs and the pros. Lots of the saddle count is skewed a bit by original equipment, saddles that are supplied with bikes. So these are made by Cobb, they're saddles, they're not saddles that come with bikes, so people have chosen to put them on. In 2022, they were the sixth most common or popular saddle, so people are choosing these saddles for a reason. Anyway, let's look at the two differences between the 38 and the 55, or the Type 5 as it is now. The first obvious one is when you look at the nose. Both designs are split nose designs, but the 38 has a 38mm width nose, whereas the 55 or Type 5 has a 55mm width nose. That obviously makes it a little bit, the 38, more comfortable in the sense of your thighs, your inner thigh, not catching on the side of the saddle. This is increased in a sense by the flatness of the side of the saddle. It is pretty much dead flat, whereas on the Type 5 and the 55 there's a little bit of bulging on it. Again, we're talking minimal, but at the front of the saddle they are very similar, but just this width difference. In terms of the channel and the trough on these, they've both got a lovely nice deep channel. However, the trough itself on the 38 is slightly deeper, and the relief channel on the Delta 38, the relief channel is actually 20mm by 150mm long, whereas on the Type 5 you'll find a 15mm by 150mm long. So same length, it's just a little bit wider on the Delta 38. In terms of the comfort element on these saddles, I've said how comfortable they are, but the 38 has 2 to 3mm more padding, so it's leaning you towards comfort in that mid area, as opposed to just purely being an aggressive off the nose ridden saddle. The rear width of these saddles, the Type 5, it's 135mm, whereas on the 38 it's 120mm. It's a little bit lighter, shorter. But what this is aiming towards is, by making this a bit shorter, by narrowing the nose, an added benefit is that the 38 is slightly lighter. The Type 5 is a 366 gram saddle, whereas the Delta 38 is a 355 gram saddle, so it's 11 grams lighter. If I turn the saddles over then and we look at the underside and we look at the rails, well, both saddles have a rail length of 105mm, so you've got the same adjustment on your seat post, and both rails are hollow chromoly rails, so there's no difference at all in the rail system. Similarly, both saddles have the capability to attach rear hydration systems. Turning the saddles back over, one last thing, the length of the saddles, both saddles are 260 millimeters long. My conclusions about this saddle? Well, it's outrageously comfortable. Now, I could say to myself, I'm slightly biased because I've ridden a Cobb saddle for a long time and I find my Jcob 55 seriously comfortable. Is this more comfortable? It's really, really hard to say. I'm tilting towards yes. If I was to advise you which one to buy, do you buy the Delta 38 or do you buy what would now be the Type 5? I would say it's really down to how aggressive do you want to be on your riding, and do you want to perch off the front and be in that aggressive position for pretty much the whole ride, in which case go Type 5. If you're doing longer triathlons, you've got a lot more climbing involved, it's a hilly route, you're going to be sat back a bit more, you probably want to lean towards the 38. However, is there a massive difference, and what will I do? Well, I'm probably going to fit the 38 and leave it there. If I was going to be, I'm not sure I would do this, but if I was going to try and be clever about it, I would say I'm going to put my original 55 on for shorter triathlons, Olympic distance, sprint and so on, where I'm literally going to be off the nose and banging it out the whole way round. Ironman, half Ironman, my 38. But can I be bothered to change them around? I don't know, time will tell, time will tell. But what a fantastic saddle this Type 38 is. And if you can get hold of one, Speed Hub I know in the UK do them, if you can get hold of one, they are fantastic. It is comfortable, and I can wholly recommend having a look at the Jcob website and any Cobb saddle. Thank you for watching this video. In the description down below is a link to Wiggle, who sell an awful lot of the kit that we review on this channel. If you go through that link, we just get a tiny proportion of what you spend no more, and can get some really good deals. If you like the video, please give it a like, a thumbs up, share it with your friends, click on the notification button so that you get notifications, obviously. If you haven't yet subscribed, well, please click on the little picture down there. At the top, we've got a couple of videos of bike setup from Bolton from a few years ago, which you might be interested in. But we've also got a link down in this corner to one of our latest vlogs. Many thanks for watching. See you again soon.